Welcome back to Narrations. Today's story is about a nanny who doesn't arrive when she's needed. She arrives when she's wanted the least. Nanny McPhee, 2005, is a magical, heartwarming story about discipline, love, and the kind of change that only happens when chaos reaches its peak. Mr. Cedric Brown is a man barely holding his life together. After the loss of his wife, he's left alone to raise 7 children. 7. And not just any children. These are children who have made it their mission to drive away every nanny who enters their home. Because they don't want one. They don't want rules. They don't want change. And most of all, they don't want to forget their mother. Each nanny who comes into the house leaves the same way. Terrified. Defeated. Because the children are clever. They plan. They coordinate. And they execute their chaos perfectly. From fake accidents to staged disasters. Nothing works. Until nothing remains. Mr. Brown grows more desperate with each passing day. Because it's not just about managing the children. It's about keeping his life from collapsing completely. He works long hours. Struggles to balance everything. And on top of it all, there's pressure. From his Aunt Adelaide. A wealthy, controlling woman who has one condition. Mr. Brown must remarry. Quickly. Or she will stop supporting the family. And without that support, everything falls apart. So now, Mr. Brown is forced into something he doesn't want. Finding a new wife. Not for love, but for survival. Meanwhile, the children are fully aware. And they don't accept it. Because to them, this isn't moving forward. It's replacing their mother. And they won't allow it. The chaos grows worse. Until one night, everything changes. The children are alone. Plotting. Planning. And suddenly, a knock at the door. Unexpected. Uninvited. They open it. And standing there is Nanny McPhee. She is unlike anything they've ever seen. Her appearance is strange. Almost unsettling. A crooked nose. A single large tooth. A stern expression that doesn't soften. She doesn't introduce herself politely. She doesn't ask permission. She simply walks in. And immediately takes control. The children try their usual tricks. Disruption. Mockery. Resistance. But this time, something is different. Nanny McPhee doesn't react. She responds. With calm. With authority. With something that feels almost magical. When the children refuse to listen, she makes them listen. Literally. They find themselves unable to move. Unable to speak. Forced to face consequences they've never experienced before. For the first time. Their control is gone. And that changes everything. Nanny McPhee doesn't punish randomly. She teaches. Each lesson is deliberate. Each moment intentional. And slowly, the chaos begins to shift. Not disappear. But change. The children resist. Of course they do. But something about Nanny McPhee makes it impossible to ignore her. Because she doesn't just control behavior. She understands it. She sees through them. Their anger. Their sadness. Their fear. And for the first time, someone doesn't try to replace their mother. Someone tries to guide them. The first lesson begins. To stop fighting. Simple. But for them, almost impossible. Through a series of moments, funny, chaotic, and sometimes uncomfortable, they begin to learn. Not because they want to, but because they have to. And as they do, something subtle happens. Nanny McPhee begins to change. Her appearance softens. Slightly. Almost unnoticeable at first. But real. Because the more the children learn, the less she needs to be strict. Meanwhile, Mr. Brown continues his struggle. Meeting potential wives. Trying to satisfy Aunt Adelaide. But none of it feels right. Because his heart isn't in it. And the children? They make sure of that. They sabotage every attempt. Because they're not ready. Not yet. But the lessons continue. Listening. Following instructions. Taking responsibility. Each one pushing them further from chaos. And closer to something they don't fully understand yet. Discipline. But also care. And as the house slowly begins to change, so does the feeling inside it. Less noise. Less anger. More structure. More calm. But the biggest challenge hasn't come yet. Because the real test isn't just learning to behave. It's learning to let go. And that's something far more difficult than any rule. The lessons don't stop. If anything, they become harder. Because now, it's not just about behavior. It's about change. The children have begun to listen. To follow instructions. To control their chaos. But deep inside, nothing has truly shifted yet. Because they're still holding on. To anger. To fear. To loss. And Nanny McPhee knows it. That's why her lessons continue. Not as punishment. But as transformation. She teaches them responsibility. Simple tasks at first. Cleaning. Helping. Working together. Things they once refused to do. Now they attempt them. Not perfectly. But honestly. And with each lesson, something changes. Not just in them. But in her. Her appearance continues to soften. The crooked features begin to straighten. The harshness fades. Because the more they grow, the less she needs to be strict. It's not magic for the sake of magic. It's a reflection of their progress. Meanwhile, Mr. Brown's situation becomes more urgent. Aunt Adelaide is losing patience. Her condition remains the same. He must marry. Or everything is taken away. The house. The support. The stability. And this time, he agrees, not because he wants to, but because he believes he has no choice. The children find out. And panic returns. Because this isn't just a change. It's a replacement. And they're not ready for that. They plan again. Not like before. But enough. To stop it. And for a moment, it feels like they've gone backwards. All the lessons. All the progress. At risk. But Nanny McPhee doesn't stop them. She watches. Because some lessons can't be forced. They have to be understood. The day of the wedding arrives. Everything is prepared. The new woman stands ready. And Mr. Brown feels the weight of it all. Because deep down, he knows this isn't right. But he moves forward anyway. Because he believes he has to. And that's when everything breaks. The children act, trying to stop it. And in the chaos, the truth finally surfaces. Not through magic, but through honesty. Mr. Brown speaks. For the first time. Not out of obligation, but from his heart. He refuses. Refuses to marry someone he doesn't love. Refuses to pretend. Refuses to replace what he lost. And in that moment, everything changes. Not just for him. For the children. Because they see it. This wasn't about replacing their mother. It was about survival. And now, it's about choice. Aunt Adelaide reacts. Angry. Disappointed. She threatens to take everything away. But something unexpected happens. She pauses. Because for the first time, she sees something different. Not chaos, but unity. A family standing together. And slowly, she changes. Not completely, but enough. She doesn't take everything away. She steps back. The pressure lifts. And just like that, the biggest threat disappears. The house is quiet again. Not empty. Peaceful. The children have changed. Not because they were forced to, but because they chose to. They listen. They help. They care. Not out of fear, but out of understanding. And Nanny McPhee stands watching. Because her work is almost done. There is one final lesson. The hardest one. To say goodbye. The children don't understand at first. Why she has to leave. Why she can't stay. Because now, they finally want her there. But that's the point. She explains it simply. When you need me, but do not want me, then I must stay. When you want me, but no longer need me, then I have to go. And now, they don't need her anymore. Because everything she came to teach, they've learned. She leaves. Not dramatically. Quietly. As if she was never meant to stay. But something remains. Not magic. But change. The house is different now. Full. Not of chaos. But of life. Mr. Brown stands with his children. Not as someone struggling to manage them. But as someone who understands them. And the children stand together. Not as troublemakers. But as a family. Stronger. Because of everything they went through. And somewhere, Nanny McPhee continues her journey. Because there are always more children. More families. More lessons waiting to be learned. Nanny McPhee isn't just about discipline. It's about growth, love, and the kind of change that happens when people are finally ready to face the truth. If you enjoyed listening to this narration, please like, share, and subscribe for more movie stories. I'll see you in the next one.